week 24. I'm laughing because I thought I hit record and I talked for like 7 minutes and then realized I must have missed record. So it's week 24. Been in here 6 months, or it is 6 months. It's a long time. Let me see. Michigan meetings were yesterday. I had a couple other ones too, but those went okay. The Michigan one went good. Some of the other ones went a little longer than they probably needed to, but all good information. Everything, went well. Vegas. Still haven't heard, when they had the meeting yet for the sporting team. I'll probably have to ask that, but pushing ahead. Um, they're well versed in events. I was talking about that today. That the numbers they can bring. Each of these companies they do something different. You know what I mean, and all the same thing but differently. And some of them have specialized skill sets. And I would say Vegas is probably. They got a lot of skill sets too, but the number of trained people they can bring for their events. Like I said, last year they did an event where they were a subcontractor or they weren't the primary provider, and brought four something on Friday and 500 on Saturday and Sunday. That's a lot of people. That's a big, that's a big flex. To have those capabilities and have that product look amazing. As they did. It's big. You know what I mean? So the stuff I look for them is a little bit different than I do the other ones. Although, being like, for instance, besides they all do events, um, they're all in cannabis, yes, states, I guess I'd call them. Some further along as far as like recreation and prescription, that kind of stuff. But they all live in a state where, some form or another that's allowed. So there is some things that, we can cross over there. And even some of the companies or contacts are the same as far as like the nationals. Believe it or not, cannabis has nationals now. Um, so, those kind of things. Um, but other than that, they're all different. The owners have the same focus, the same mindset. But, so Vegas are rock stars, and they prove that every time they go out. Yes, they can do smaller stuff, but the real big stuff they seem to thrive. At Florida. They do events also. But the real high end security and everything that comes with that. Not only can they can deliver it, but they do that really well too. Um, in Michigan, Michigan has a lot of skill sets. They we've been pushing, just in some areas, focusing more on others. Um, you never know the seed that you plant today when it's going to produce, and that's kind of the bad part of what I do. That I might plant a seed today and say if the length of our relationship is ended, as far as that particular client. I've had it to where these people have called those contacts back, for the work, but that's just the nature of the beast. And since I've been with JBI for a little while, um, I have a decent little graph and map of places, and they have an opportunity this week to discuss possible services for a huge Michigan sports venue, sportsplex. You know, um, I tried it 2 or 3 times. Had some pretty good conversations. pretty close to the yeses, but for whatever reason or another, they just didn't pull the trigger. So you never know, just because you don't think you were successful today you're doing it doesn't mean you're not going to be successful down the road, or even for them, like this instance with Michigan. Um, New Orleans, they're also waiting on a meeting, for a pretty big event on their side. Um, he was actually my last meeting today, and went a couple hours, and it's pretty amazing. He's a pretty cool guy, and he's energetic, about this work, and I love it. So I definitely like talking about it. So we had a pretty good session, and bounce some things off each other as far as ideas and directions to go. And he has built a huge foundation, pretty successful one. Um, I'm pretty proud that I could help him put some of his pieces together. Because he's a rock star too. He's definitely got the skill sets, and adds a skill set, not only to his resume but to his company's resume. So it was a good week. It's a lot more of the same this week. A lot more of work. I'm still trying to get one more. I've talked to a couple other different states. I think we're close on a few of them, at least, having a second conversation. Um, what I do isn't a quick fix. Although sometimes, hits do come quick, sometimes quicker than I think. Um, but the biggest thing is letting people know who these guys are, and what they do, and how they can do it, and how much better they are, towards other people in their areas of operation. So that's it. I was going to say, or maybe I'll save it for a short. I hate I don't know if you'd call it a slogan, or what the heck you'd call it, but when someone says like "my guy," I hate that. I'd almost rather be called an asshole or something, you know. Um, I don't like it. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. It shouldn't, but I don't know what's going on up there. But that's it. Try to keep it light this week. We're getting almost 8 minutes. That's longer. I might cut some of this out. But have a good week.